Between the years 1940 and 1958, Hanna-Barbera created 114 original Tom and Jerry shorts, and they were some of the funniest and most creative cartoons ever made. But not everything about those cartoons was fun and games. Some pretty sensitive topics were covered, like characters in blackface, excessive violence, and racist humor. As a result, many Tom and Jerry cartoons ended up being censored, banned, or heavily edited over the years. The list of altered Tom and Jerry cartoons is so long, it's practically impossible to cover them all. But we're going to give it a try. Here then is the history of the popular, but controversial, cat and mouse team Tom and Jerry, and how they came to be one of the most censored cartoons of all time. Tom the Cat and Jerry the Mouse were created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera when they started working for MGM Studios in the late 1930s. The studio was trailing behind the other major animation studios like Disney and Warner Brothers, and they were trying to come up with some new ideas for their shorts. That's when Hanna and Barbera had the idea of two characters that were always in conflict with each other. Their first thought was a fox and a dog, but instead, they settled on a common house cat and a little brown mouse and pitched the idea to producer Fred Quimby. Fred didn't really like the idea at first, but gave them the green light to produce one cartoon short for theatrical release. The first cat and mouse short, titled Puss Gets the Boot, was released to theaters on February the 10th, 1940. It was with a cat named Jasper and an unnamed mouse, who they had named Jinx in pre-production. There was also a black housemaid named Mammy Two Shoes, who later became a source of major controversy. Hanna and Barbera were told to go back to working on other cartoon series, but that turned out to be a short-lived detour. The cartoon ended up being a big hit with audiences, and when MGM got a letter from one of their big distributors in Texas asking for more cat and mouse cartoons, they decided to go back into production. Producer Fred Quimby did a 180-degree turn after that and said, "Let's go make some more of these cat and mouse cartoons." So Hanna and Barbera went back to work on the series, and a contest was held to name the cat and mouse. Animator John Carr won the contest for naming Tom the Cat and Jerry the Mouse and was awarded $50 for his suggestion. Puss Gets the Boot was not only loved by audiences, but also was a hit with critics and was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Short Subject Cartoons in 1941, even though Hanna and Barbera were not listed on the credits. They went on to make Tom and Jerry cartoons for the next 15 years, until MGM closed its animation division in 1957. Co-director William Hanna did most of the squeaks, gasps, and other vocal effects for the pair. This includes the most famous sound effects from the series, Tom's leather-lunged scream and Jerry's nervous gulp. The original run of Hanna-Barbera's Tom and Jerry was from 1940 to 1958, and each short revolves around Tom's attempts to catch Jerry and the chaos that follows. Jerry's usually able to avoid being caught because of his cleverness, his athletic abilities, and just plain luck. They've also shown true friendship and compassion for one another at times. Almost every year of that original run, they were nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film, winning the coveted award a total of 7 times and tying for first place with Walt Disney's Silly Symphonies. It's no secret that the original Tom and Jerry cartoons are some of the most beloved cartoons of all time, but also some of the most controversial and most violent. Tom uses axes, hammers, firecrackers, explosives, traps, and poison to try and kill Jerry, while Jerry would retaliate by slicing Tom in half, electrocuting him, decapitating him, sticking his tail in a waffle iron, tying him to fireworks, and clubbing him with a mallet. People loved the cartoon immediately, but the censors thought it was unsuitable for young children. When Tom and Jerry made the transition to television in the 1950s and 60s, they featured content that the networks thought was inappropriate for broadcast, so the series was subject to the censor's knife. Many episodes were cut, re-edited, or redubbed to remove inappropriate racial stereotypes and explicit violence that they thought was too severe for the children. Other shorts were banned outright. One of the best known of the altered shorts is Saturday Evening Puss, released in 1950. It was removed from syndication due to its depiction of racial stereotypes and was altered in 1966 to replace the black maid Mammy Two Shoes with a white teenage girl to stop the complaints of racism. It was then placed back in syndication after the editing. Another heavily edited episode is 1949's The Little Orphan, despite being an Academy Award winner. The character Mammy Two Shoes makes another appearance, but the main problem with this episode seems to be a scene where Tom's fur burns up and he becomes a blackface caricature. In Mouse Cleaning, a 1948 short that was banned, Tom is seen in blackface after falling into a big pile of coal. He uses a stereotypical black male voice while talking to Mammy Two Shoes, which was voiced by black vaudevillian comedian Stepin Fetchit, speaking in a stereotypical black voice. To try and make the cartoon less racist, they cut the scene with Tom in blackface and just show Mammy yelling at Tom with Tom running away. In his Mouse Friday from 1951, all the cannibal dialogue has been removed from the version that's on the Tom and Jerry on Parade videotape and the Art of Tom and Jerry Laserdisc set. Even though the audience could still see everyone's lips moving, the natives and Jerry's impersonation were all silent. Another episode from 1956, Blue Cat Blues, almost never shows up on TV and is excluded from many collections as it references alcoholism, depression, and the suicide of the cat and mouse at the end of the short. Casanova Cat, which was released in 1951, is another short which is heavily edited. It features a scene where Tom is shown smoking a cigar, blowing the smoke on Jerry, and Jerry doing a dance while in blackface. Mouse Cleaning and Casanova Cat in particular were not included in the initial DVD release of the Hanna-Barbera era cartoons because of their racial stereotypes. The Tom and Jerry DVD Spotlight collection also had errors, such as certain episodes being the edited broadcast versions instead of the original uncut versions, as advertised. The missing cartoons were scheduled to be restored and released on the second volume of the Warner's Golden Collection DVDs, which were supposed to have all of the Hanna-Barbera shorts in their original chronological order and totally unedited. Due to backlash, though, Warner Home Video pulled the two shorts from Volume 2 at the last minute and then canceled the release completely. A full uncut collection of the Hanna-Barbera shorts has still never been released on DVD in the US. When Warner Media first announced they were bringing the Tom and Jerry shorts to HBO Max, hopes were high that they would be bringing the entire collection in uncut, remastered format and showing them in chronological order. HBO Max is known, after all, for not shying away from adult or controversial content, so expectations were high. What we got was disappointing. All the shorts with Mammy Two Shoes were gone, and she was considered too controversial as a stereotypical black housemaid. That's 19 shorts that were eliminated right from the start. Then, the cat and mouse and blackface shorts were also gone. The remaining cartoons are shown in seasons, not in chronological order, and jumping around in no particular order. The following is a list of edits that were made to Tom and Jerry cartoons. All are directed by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. Puss Gets the Boot, February 1940. Mammy's voice has been redubbed in the Cartoon Network version. In the original, Mammy said, "OWT out." In this redub version, her spelling is corrected. Frady Cat, January 1942. This cartoon is missing the scenes with Mammy Two Shoes. Dog Trouble, April 1942. The Cartoon Network version has Mammy's voice redubbed and sometimes removes her appearance at the end. Puss in Toots, May 1942. The Chinese gag where a record lands on Tom's head making him look Chinese is edited out. Yankee Doodle Mouse, June 1943. Tom in blackface as a result of an exploding teapot is removed. The Mouse Comes to Dinner, May 1945. The opening scene of Mammy singing and Jerry pretending to be an Indian is cut. Mouse in Manhattan, July 1945. Scene of Jerry's head in shoe polish bottle cut short. The original version showed Jerry in blackface. Flirty Birdie, September 1945. The scene where the bird throws Tom into the laundry and Tom comes out looking like an Indian chief has been cut. The Milky Waif, May 1946. The scene of Jerry and Nibbles in blackface was removed. Trap Happy, June 1946. Jerry is being divided in two by the exterminator cat. Tom's tail being chopped with an axe was shortened to remove the axe fall. Part-Time Pal, March 1947. Mammy's voice was redubbed and the dialogue changed. The Cartoon Network version muted Tom's "one for the money" before drenching Mammy with water. A Mouse in the House, August 1947. Scene of cats in blackface after an explosion had been deleted. Kitty Foiled, June 1948. The scene where Jerry and the Canary disguise themselves as Indians to trick Tom is cut. The Truth Hurts, July 1948. The scene where a passing meat truck splashes mud on Tom, Jerry, and Spike, leaving them in blackface, is cut. Old Rockin' Chair Tom, September 1948. The uncle in Poor Old Uncle Tom is removed, and in some copies, Mammy has a different voice. Mouse Cleaning, December 1948. Tom is in blackface after a coal spill, but instead, it cuts to Mammy yelling at Tom. This cartoon is not included in any of the Spotlight Collection DVDs. The Little Orphan, April 1949. The original scene showing Tom in blackface after his fur catches fire was reanimated. The scene of the champagne bottle hitting Tom was removed. Jerry's Diary, October 1949. The exploding teapot scene from Yankee Doodle Mouse fades out early. Saturday Evening Puss, January 1950. Some versions replace Mammy with young white girl footage, but her original voice is still heard. Safety Second, July 1950. The cartoon ends right after a firecracker explosion, leaving Jerry in blackface. The Framed Cat, October 1950. Mammy has been replaced with a white maid on some versions, or just her voice. Casanova Cat, January 1951. Tom breathes cigar smoke in Jerry's face, causing Jerry to have blackface, then heats a tray under his feet to make him dance. The new version cuts from Jerry as a wind-up mouse to the mouse throwing a note to Butch in a paper airplane. His Mouse Friday, July 1951. Cannibal dialogue was edited out in some releases. All the natives in Jerry's native talk were muted, even though you'll see all the characters' lips moving. The Two Mouseketeers, March 1952. The ending word suggested that the king beheaded Tom off-screen was cut. Little Runaway, June 1952. The baby seal throwing Tom into a bird bath which lands on Tom's head and makes him look Chinese is cut. Life with Tom, November 1953. In a scene identical to The Little Orphan, the candle burns Tom and the scene is shortened to end here before a blackface gag and a hit in the back of the head with a champagne bottle. Now what about you guys? Did you grow up loving these classic cartoons like I did? Or maybe you watched the later edited versions? What are your favorite memories of Tom and Jerry? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, but most of all, thanks for watching. This is Rich from Rerun Zone. I'll see you in my next video.